Hi everyone, so sorry about that. I started recording without sound, without unmuting my mic. My mic is unmuted. I'm sharing my screen. We're good to go. I was saying welcome to the National Support Session for the exams, and I'm opening up a document or studying a document that's called ENTR Exam Insights. So this is everything that basically we're going to be discussing and anything that I feel like maybe is important to know. So the first place that I would start is by getting your PAS, and we all know that your program assessment schedule you find on the student intranet, and that's where I am basically navigating to. So it is the Faculty of Commerce, and within that, then you will search for the relevant qualification. It is distance program assessment schedule 2024, and let's download this. Sorry, download. So the first thing that we see is that our program assessment schedule gives us the relevant dates for our assessment, right? So we can see if we scroll down, ENTR 5112, can I scroll? Yes. ENTR 5112, we can see that it is a written on-campus practical exam. And maybe let me do this. Let's say number one, what you need is your PAS, because this is going to give you your exam dates, times, venue, etc. Then we see there, like I said, the first thing that sticks out is that it's a written on-campus practical exam. And I know this is maybe one of the more difficult things for you guys to do, because as it is, you have not written on campus yet. So yeah, your exams being written on campus might be quite the shock to you. And then we can see that it's on the 26th of April, and it's at 8 o'clock in the morning. So maybe 8 o'clock is another important thing for you to know. And then of course it is the summative, and you will see that it's on the 26th of June. And if we look at the 26th of June, based on where we are with the calendar right now, we are it's the 3rd of June, and the 26th gives us basically 1, 2, 3 weekends with like an extra day, or 3 weeks with an extra day. All right, and then after you've got your program assessment schedule, then the second thing that you're going to need is your, let me write this down, your program assessment schedule. My bad, I'm losing my train of thought, but I know where to find whatever it is I'm thinking about in the student resources, student material. Again, student material, we are going to look for your module now, which is ENTR 5112, and always with the W if you have to search. But because you are students, it automatically pops up for you. Then we're going to need your module outline, okay? So module outline, sorry, my voice is just acting up. I had a flu, so yeah, it just acts up. Module outline. And in the module outline, we're going to need the assessment details. So let's go here. We are in the module, and we see the module outline, which is download. So if we open up our module outline and we go to assessments, here we can see that the practical exam is 35%. All right. So exam contributes 35% to your overall mark. And then another thing that's important is that for the exam, it's going to be 2 hours long, 120 marks, and it's a closed book exam. So again, 2 hours, 120 marks, and it's a closed book exam. And this is where you really, really need to be careful and, to make sure that you prep a lot, because of the fact that, you guys are just so used to submitting assignments. So this is actually going to a venue, etc., etc. And then learning units covered will be all of them, but all learning units. And this is where I'm gonna maybe also try and make things a little bit easier for you guys so that you can, so that, yeah, writing this, written unseen exam is not as bad as it, as it is. So then my question is, or then the question is, how do you prepare for the exam? Number one, I would say check out your assignments. All right, previous assignments, and in the assignment, feedback that you received. So with the assignment, remember you will receive feedback, and that feedback will help you to see where is it that you are going right and where is it that you are going wrong. And then another thing that you can do is use past papers. If you don't know where you can find a past paper, here on the student intranet, if I scroll all the way back again, one more, here on the student intranet, we can see here there's a folder called past papers. And if I'm not mistaken, you should be able to have access to all of them, I think. And then all you have to do is go to the relevant, the module name, but we can even search for it. In fact, it's better, I found, if you start searching for it, because, and look at what's interesting here, is that you find a take-home assessment, take-home exam, take-home exam, take-home test, take-home exam, take-home test. So there's really a lot of documents that, you can find already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that 6 past papers, that you can use. And then another thing that you need to do, please, guys, look at your ICE activities. Activities plus the feedback that I provide in the exams or in the assessments. And then another thing is learn or use the tier, let's say the tier method to answer your questions. And what is this tier method? The tier method, number one, is that you list the theory. Number two is that you explain the theory in your own words. And then number three, you would then provide an example relevant to the case study that would have been provided, right? And then learning, then what? Yeah, provide an example. And then the last one is provide an additional resource. This could be maybe a real life example or definition, for instance, by another author. Yeah, and then another thing that you can definitely do is look at the recordings, and let's call these live session recordings or live lecture recordings, and I am talking in particular the learning outcomes. So what normally when I go through the learning outcomes, I also do state which learning outcomes are important for well, that I've seen being asked. So I said, oh, sorry, this one would be actually first here. Yeah. But guys, more than anything, look at your assignments, please, please, please. I don't know what to do with this. Look at your assignments. Check the feedback that you have received for your assignment, because you need to know how to answer your questions, and this is it. Then you have to look at past papers. In terms of past papers, what is it that was provided? And then we look at ICE activities and the feedback that is provided for you in the ICE activities, and then use the tier method to answer your questions, and then live lecture recordings, in particularly the learning outcomes, because like I said, I always explain or give you hints as to the kind of questions that I've seen being asked. Yeah, and then past papers, again, another important one. And then please use the tier method. So in other words, in your answers, guys, you always have to list the theory. You always have to explain the theory in your own words. Then you always have to provide an example relevant to the case study, and then provide an additional resource. And this could be another example, but this time maybe a real life example versus one that was in the case study, and then definition by another author. And I think that's the biggest thing that's all that we can do and cover for the national assessment. Just checking really in the module what it is that you guys could be looking at more resources. Okay, and then another hint. Yeah, I think because it's a what do you call it? It's a closed book exam that is written on campus. There is no referencing, luckily, because if there was referencing, it would have been an issue. But yeah, because it's an exam, you don't really have to reference. And let me say here, and I'm gonna maybe put it in brackets, no need to reference. Yeah, that's really about it. If you have any questions, do let me know. But like I said, coming here, if you are on your on the student portal, you can get your past exam papers, you can get your student material, your assignments, etc. So yeah, I think that's it. It's a very, very short session, shockingly short. But what I'll do is I'll upload this, and yeah, you guys will have the recording as usual. Thank you very much for those of you that have joined. And yeah, that's all I've got for today. Thank you. Bye-bye.